We bought this old house in Italy. It was abandoned for 25 years, and so was the garden. Up to now, we found out that the house is not safe to live in, so we had to find a temporary solution, as you may have seen in previous videos. Between painting the shutters and waiting for the contractors to start with the roof, we decided to take on the garden. In the knee-high grass, wildflowers grow wild, but we also discovered lilies and baby palm trees. Besides this, we also have 20 old olive trees, 2 large oleanders and 1 beautiful palm. The fig tree hangs over the driveway and touches our roof when we drive underneath, so we decided to cut some branches, which is required anyway for the construction vehicles and delivery trucks. Our Italian neighbor told us the olive trees needed pruning, so that a bird can fly through them. We sort of like the olive trees as they are, but the pruning would make harvesting much easier in autumn. So soon after he came over with his tractor to help. While Mirella yelled at the brambles that were taking over the fig tree, I mumbled to myself that the soil is so fertile, this battle against the weeds is never won for long. We also bought the agricultural land connected to the house and garden. The front part of our land is covered with clover, which is now brown and dry. We have 3 dogs that are not used to open fields and keep chasing the rabbits that live there. Hunters sometimes pass by with their dogs and use the land for hunting, so we decided to put up a simple fence to keep our dogs safe. To buy the materials for the fence, we went to the local building supply store. We ordered 400 meters of a simple green mesh fence, 200 metal poles and some tie wraps. The delivery was already possible the next day, and the driver said that he knows the house. He drives by every day and was wondering if somebody would ever restore it. We started straight away, hammering in the poles. Bang baby bang. And then with tie wraps we would be fiddling to connect the fence to the poles. We bought this farmland for 50,000 euros, but there is also income. We rent out the back part to a farmer for 200 euros a year. He grows corn and grains there. The land is 20,000 square meters. It runs from the house to the stream that is cutting through the valley. After the winter, meltwater from the Apennines flows to the sea. The Apennines are only a 1-hour drive and you can ski there in winter times. We can see the snow-capped mountains from our land, and if you look to the other side, you can see a strip of sea, only 4 minutes away. During the work, we decided it would be nice to make some walking paths through the land. And this was the moment the project started getting out of hand. We started simple enough by randomly walking around and placing wooden poles to mark where we wanted the paths to run. Our idea was to create paths by cutting the clover and just walking over it. We tried this first by hand and then with an electric cutter, but the clover was too thick. So we brought in the heavy gear. We called a local contractor who had helped us with the demolition of the ugly extension. You may have seen this in the previous episode. If not, you can find the link below. The clover was removed and the ground leveled. Somewhere around the middle of the land we took 10 steps to the west and 6 to the south to create a terrace. And we've paved paradise to put up a parking lot. Yeah, just kidding, it's only a small part and we'll put some nice trees around it. But it didn't stop here. Mirella wanted the paths to wind around olive trees and some flower beds with lavender, rosemary and roses. We have a lot of plant nurseries in our valley. So, the next day a truck delivered 80 olive trees. We chose olive trees that are 5 years old. They cost 25 euros a piece. In 5 years' time, the harvest of these trees should be about 250 liters of olive oil. We planted the olive trees at least 8 meters apart, which gives them lots of space to grow and making it easier to harvest. We wanted the trees planted in an organic pattern, so we set out randomly distributing until we found the right spot for each of them. As the soil is sandy and full of rocks, we dug the holes using an excavator. Once they were all planted, we thought of another addition. In the villages around us, oleanders grow very tall, so we decided to buy 100 mini oleanders, costing €3 a piece, for our field. The contractor told us not to plant them nearby the olive trees, because oleanders are poisonous to animals and to people. So we planted them in clusters and planned to fence them off to protect our dogs. Having rounded off the planting, it was now time for the next phase of our project. The path would soon be overgrown, and to prevent this, we decided to use rubble to solidify them. On top of this, we will put white pebbles from local riverbeds. After 2 weeks, we thought we had finished, but then spring came. While we were busy restoring the old shutters, which you can see in episode 4, the clover started growing again. In the Netherlands, where we're from, clover only grows a few centimeters high. Here in Italy, it quickly became knee-high with wildflowers mixed in. We kept the path clean by pulling out the weeds by hand while walking the dogs. Our neighbor has a plant nursery and put up some white plastic greenhouses. Although we love nurseries, we are afraid that he'll put more of those near our land. So we hope that our oleanders, when grown up, will help us hide these greenhouses from our sight. While Mirella was making wildflower bouquets, we forgot about the mini oleanders until they were overgrown. Mirella searched for days to find only about 50 of the 100 we had planted.
Ze zijn echt niet meer te vinden.
While freeing up the oleanders, we reflected on the project so far.
Hier.
We have invested almost €9,000 to create this olive grove and walking path, and now we realize that maintaining it will require more effort than we thought. Well, lunch first.
Oh, wauw.
Ja,
Dankjewel.
heerlijk hè? Nou, het is wel echt lekker zo buiten, toch?
Heerlijk.
Oh. Ook voor jou nog, zo. Lekker. Nou, lekker eet smakelijk.
We were wondering what to do with the clover, but when our neighbor drove by, he suggested letting the clover grow until summer. This helps keep the soil moist and is good for the olive trees and oleanders. In July or August, somebody may be willing to cut it and use it as cattle feed. Our neighbor also mowed the path edges for us with his tractor to stop the clover from completely overgrowing our path. I was scouting ahead to make sure we didn't run over any oleanders. We don't have a water mains connection yet, so we use spring water from under the land for showering, washing the dishes and doing the laundry, which dries under the veranda. Mirella's aprons were still drying when we made an interesting discovery. We found these old ceramic tiles from the 1970s in the house, and that gave us a new idea. And in our case, ideas quickly grow into projects.
Alright, we're going to get some of the old bricks to build the outside kitchen.
You can see how that turns out in episode 7.